So today I wanted to go pick some tart cherries. So I decided to go to Fire Apple Orchards and Gardens. Decided to bring you guys along. I hope you enjoy the tour. Okay, so I got my hat. I got my sunglasses. Doesn't look like I need a raincoat, so I'm going to leave that in the truck. Okay, everybody, grab your buckets. Let's head down the path. Looks like there's bees in the orchard, so you all need to be on your best behavior. I don't want any of you to get stung. And I did bring just a little extra cash, so if any of you want to pick some cherries, go right ahead. Just taking a walk back here to the orchard and hopefully find where we're supposed to pick. Looks like it's axe throwing. And it looks like this is where it is. And this is the attitude I believe we all should have in everything that we do. Now that's a mighty tall fence. I wonder if that's to keep the fruit trees in or the moose out. Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can find somebody and figure out where I can start picking. And now I'm gonna ask each and every one of you to please be on your best behavior, and we need to put the cherries in the bucket, not in our mouths. We will eat them after we pay for them. And so here's the cherries. And they're not all ripe, but there is a lot of ripe ones here, especially up higher. So very fun. I'm gonna get to picking and I'll bring you along with that. Okay, here we go. Maybe I should have brought a step stool because the ones that are up high seem to be a little bit riper. Hey, could somebody please give me a boost? I like that one way up there. There's just so many to choose from. Which ones do I want to pick? Where's the best spot? Now here's just a little bit different angle. Gives you kind of an idea of how many cherries there are to pick and how many cherries there are to choose from. And there's just so many cherries. I want them all. Well, I better not be too greedy until I make sure I really enjoy what I'm planning on making with them. Well, I think I've got just about enough for my test sample. And here's the variety of cherry that we're picking today. The Carmine Jewel cherry. So there's the bucket that I picked. It's 2.5 pounds. And we're just trying them out this year. And if we really like what we make with them, then next year we'll pick more. And there's just so much more to see here. Let's take a little bit of a walk around and look at some of these other fruit trees. So they gave me permission to walk around and video just a little bit. And these are all trees that they sell. They graft and sell. It's all the different varieties of apple and the ripening times. That's the map of what trees are what for the space provided. Very organized. Very, very organized. And then their pricing guide. And I really love the phrase that they have. God created this, we just work here. Because, yes, God did create all of this. And he does magnificent work. And he has really good helpers here to watch over this part of his creation. They do a magnificent job. I can't say enough about the job, how organized and how wonderful they do. And I didn't show you. Let me show you this really quick. This is another thing. More apples. There's a plum. It's got one little plum on it that I can see. More apples. That's a Parkland apple. That thing is just loaded with apples. State Fair apple, but I don't see any apples. Way up there at the top. Yellow Jay apple. Very cool. I just want to come down here to this corner and get a shot up. So that I can have, instead of having the sun in the camera, I can It's just very well organized, very nice. Trailman apple. And it says a Bali cherry. Very different. Yellow transparent apple. I don't see any apples on it this year. And they're so transparent, I can't even see them. Early gold. I think this is a pear. So it looks like it has different things grafted onto it. These are all pears. Very cool. See all the different grafts that they did. Here's one that kind of shows all the different grafts they did. 4, 5 on that one. Very cool. And they do actually do a class on grafting here in, I believe she said April. And she said they have like 12 different pears. She's just guessing. 12 different pear trees. 16 different varieties of cherry. And like 65 or 75 varieties of apple. Here's another pear, and you can just see all of the yellow tags on there are different grafts that they did. 1, 2. Some of them might be repeats. I'm not sure. Very cool. Plum, Isaac plum. Let's see if I can see any plums on it. I don't see any plums. Red Diamond cherry plum. That's a different leaf. And that's a gold cherry. I like that just for the leaf. There's some big cherries. And that is a, I'll have to go from the other side. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. That gives you a good idea. So they, I think they planted it in 2005. There's another Bali cherry. I just want to get the name on this cherry. So it's a Benjamin's cherry. I like that. That one's got a lot of cherries on it. It's just loaded with cherries as well. Very cool. I do believe I will be saving my money up and buying a couple trees maybe next year. Just row upon row upon row. Fort Mac apple. That's kind of cool. It's really cool. Okay, look at this branch. It just goes and goes and goes. So, does that say Montmorency cherry? I think that's what that is. These look like
a bite of one of these.
And so these are plums, and there's actually different varieties on this tree. She was just telling me about them. And like,
Well, I was looking up guavas.
there's a Juanita plum, Jonathan plum, it's an Isaac plum, a yellow plum, and they all look like this right now. There's another plum tree up against the fence. They just have such a beautiful place here. And look at that again. Look how long that branch is hanging out there. It's got to be all of almost 10 feet just hanging out there because they're able to get it. I don't even see where they have it attached, but it must be just because it has, oh, there we go, right there. That's helping hold it up. So very cool though. There's an Oliver plum. And I'm gonna have to put it into the comments because she had to go help a customer. Because this is a U-pick. And she's gonna come back. I just had asked her when the plums come get ripe. And so hopefully I'll be able to give you that information. I'll probably just type it in. Alicia's plum. So it was this one. So it's a maraschino cherry. I don't know why. I don't speak very good English. I don't read very good English, I guess, huh? But yeah, so this is maraschino cherries. There's a lot of cherries on that. Very cool. And I hope this camera's doing justice to this. So this is actually a Bing cherry that they're able to get to survive up here. They say it doesn't produce a whole lot, so they don't actually pick them, but they are able to get some of them to survive. So that's really cool. And again, I could walk around row after row. It is an orchard. It is very cool, very well maintained. Wow.
It is today, it's not raining. Yeah. Did you? Where'd you go? Very nice. Well, our local patch here is a bus this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So then this is the netting put down to help keep the birds out of the cherries. And she was saying that it's only the cherries that they have to do it to. And each row has its own little bunch. So right there is one that if the birds were to start getting into these cherries, then they could get it covered up to save the cherries from getting from having the birds eat them all, ruin their crop. And then she was talking about they started out planting their trees 8 feet apart, then went to 6 feet apart, and now they're at 4 feet apart, and they're actually doing this where they get the branches to go across these wires. Instead of the tree being a bushy going out in all directions, it actually just goes kind of flat, which they put more fruit on, fewer branches, and way easier to pick. So it's really cool. Here, I'll take you over. So look at that right there. It's the same thing. If you just look at all of those apples, most of them are on one branch. And I'll take you down that aisle. But it's really cool how they have it set up. And they're all, get you better. See, it's not a big bush. It's just a row. And they're all kind of, she called it flat. So the tree is on the fence, but there isn't anything hanging out the backside. They're all flat up against the fence. So this will give you a good idea. I'm gonna show you this row, and you're gonna go see how flat they are, and there. So you're able to put rows closer together, and plant trees closer together. Just look how loaded down that that tree is. It's got hundreds of apples on it. Easily 100 apples. And the name of that one is Claire 2 apple. And that tree was done in 2019. The next tree over is Claire 4 apple. So I hope you guys are all as interested in this as I am, because I think this is cool. And this is a prairie sun station, or prairie sensation apple. 2018. I just look at how many apples they have. Just beautiful. Take you down this direction. There's just another apple tree. Just loaded. Look at that. Just loaded with apples. Right up there as well. And this is all in my neck of the woods. And then the plums. And that's a new one that just got planted, a black black ice. And a brook red plum. And I know she said that these required another plum. This plum here, the Winetta plum, and she said something about a mother plum. Is what is used to fertilize, to pollinate. Like it'll pollinate the black ice because it's not self-pollinating. And the brook red plum is not self-pollinating. And then another brook red there. And they did it on purpose. They planted them this way so that this one would pollinate these. So you got to do some thinking, planning. You got to know what you're doing so that you actually get something out of your plants. Yeah, the Winetta plum, and I think she said it doesn't really produce anything. It just, they graft. It's a good base to graft other plums off of. And then get the Mount Royal plum is self-pollinating. And she said seems like the more different varieties that you graft on the plum trees, the better producing that they are. So you see, like, that yellow tape is a graft. That's a graft. That's a graft. All the different grafts. She said the first year she said like they get 8 pounds out of them, and then when they grafted a bunch of different grafts on them, then they were getting like 20 to 22 pounds off of the same tree. So she said it had to be doing something, and I agree with her. And a plum tree would be kind of cool to have, but I'm gonna have limited space for my trees, so I'm thinking more apple at first, and then I can always make more room if need be. So you see that netting down there? That's to protect the tree from the voles. And in the wintertime, if the snow gets higher than that, they have to come out and get it beat down, get it away from the trees so that the voles don't come out and destroy their trees on them. So they do this year round. This is just their busy season, they said, but they do this year round, and it's not just put it in the ground and forget it. This is definitely a labor of love. So that is my tour of Fire Apple Orchard and Gardens, and they have cherries to pick right now. You pick. But that's my tour, walked around. It's a beautiful, beautiful setup that they have here. And they were very nice and friendly and explained everything. They just didn't want to be on camera, which I get. I totally get that. But they totally filled me in, and I reiterated as much as I could remember, and I know there's a lot of stuff I forgot. Sorry about that, and my memory is not perfect. But it was a lot of fun coming out here, and they're very friendly, and they totally love. You could tell this is a labor of love for them, and I totally enjoyed my time. I'm coming back. I am going to do a grafting class, I believe, and I said earlier in the video, probably try to edit that out, but April is when they do that grafting class, and it's really not that expensive. Base price is $25, and it can go up from there depending upon what you want to graft and how you want to go. Like if you want to do cherries, and because they start out with applewood, but if you want to do cherries or plums, the price is going to go up a little bit from there. But it's $25 if you want to start out and just go through the class to learn how to graft. That's nothing. I find that in a year, I pick that much up off the ground in a year. So I'm planning on doing that. And hopefully Kara will want to come join me for that class. But just look at this. So many cherries. Well, that's just going to about do it for this edition of Not So Remote Alaska. And until next time, may God bless and keep each and every one of you. And with that, I am out.